All right, Shalom, Israel, Shalom, Shalom. This brother Obadiah from New Wine Congregation of Israel. And first and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shemi Hawashai. Yahweh is the true name of who the world calls God. Bahashem just means in the name of, and Yahweh Shai is who the world calls Jesus Christ. And this lesson I'm gonna touch on through the spirit and power of the Most High God is breaking down the stronghold of these. I'm mainly gonna touch on Easter, but just these holidays in general that a lot of our people celebrate, and they don't really know why they celebrate them. They just do it because the next person doing it, and the next person do it because the next person do it. So it's like the blind leading the blind. If you ask the average Christian, why do you celebrate Easter? It's the resurrection day of Christ. But they don't truly know the true meaning behind Easter, right? Because today, think about it. Easter is going to be, I think, March 31st. It's normally in April. So do his resurrection day change? Since we keep it in the March now? So was you keeping it wrong when it was in April? Cause now why is it now it's March? Now you keeping the resurrection day or Easter in March. But you usually keep it in April. So what's going on? So a lot of people don't know the truth about Easter. They don't know where that comes from, because you won't find nobody in the Bible. And when I say nobody, you won't find nobody in the Bible celebrating the resurrection day of Christ or Easter. Easter is mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, one time in the Bible, and it's referring to Passover. It's not referring to a bunny laying eggs. It's not referring to going on an Easter egg hunt. You notice all these pagan days that we supposed to so-called celebrate, they got something to do with the Bible. It's something else involved with those days. Perfect example. Christmas. They say that's the day that Christ was born, on December 25th, right? But it's kind of odd where it don't say nowhere in the Bible when he was born. So how do you get December 25th out of him being born on that day when it don't say that nowhere in the Bible? So the second thing is, they say that's the birth of Christ. It's supposed to be a day that you're supposed to honor and celebrate his birthday, even though you won't find nowhere in the Bible when you have the only two people you will find celebrating birthdays in the Bible were these wicked men. I think it was Pharaoh and I think it was Herod. Pharaoh and Herod. Them the only two men that you will find celebrating their birthday in the Bible. Now you wasn't finding Israelites. That wasn't part of our custom. We wasn't celebrating our birthdays, man, because we know that was a sign of idolatry. When you read the book of Job, chapter 1 and verse 5 on down, Job's children was celebrating their birthdays. They were celebrating their day. And Job was upset, right? He said, man, y'all going against the Most High God by celebrating y'all birthday. So that wasn't something that we were supposed to do. We wasn't commanded by God to do that. But you have people celebrating his birthday. And then what comes with celebrating Christmas? You got the Christmas tree. You got you got Santa Claus. You got the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You got the Grinch. You got all these presents. So now it's like, do this really have something to do with Christ? And even when you look into the true meaning behind Christmas, it goes back to paganism. See, you can easily look up this stuff, man. A lot of our people, they know the truth, but they just don't want to change. It's easy. We in 2024 now, man. A happy New Year to the brothers and sisters, man. We are officially in the new year. The new year is not in January. That's another lie. The new year is not in the winter. The new year is in the springtime. Right? But happy New Year, man. We in so-called 2024. You got all the type of technology now to look up all this stuff. You got all the books we can read now. We ain't in slavery no more when we couldn't read. We can read now, so you can look into all this information yourself. But Christmas, if you ask a child, what do a child really look forward to when it comes to Christmas? Are they really ready to celebrate Christmas because it's the birth of Christ, or are they looking forward to celebrating Christmas for the presents, for the Christmas tree, for the Christmas lights, for the Christmas movies? Think about that. You got these pastors, right? They know Christmas not in the Bible. They know you're not supposed to celebrate Christmas. That's nowhere in the Bible. It's nowhere that the Lord commanded you to celebrate this day. But yet you got pastors, when Christmas come around, they got Christmas trees in their church, right? They talking about talking about Merry Christmas in the church. Some churches have they church covered with lights. Got a wreath around their door, on their church door. When you walk in, it's a wreath around the door. This is celebrating. They going off. It's the same thing when it comes to Easter. I'm gonna touch on Easter, man, because a lot of people, a lot of these pastors are misleading our people. They got the church thinking that Easter is a day. Easter is to celebrate the day that Christ was resurrected on, which there's nowhere in the Bible. And I'm gonna show you. I'm just showing y'all these pictures, so we all celebrate. We used to celebrate Easter. If you weren't born in this truth, more than likely you celebrated Easter. Right, you had Easter speeches. You remember your Easter speech? You had dressed up nice with a little polo shirt on, with khakis, with some Sperry's. And you had to go up there and say Easter speech. Where's the Easter speech at in the Bible? You got the grown folks up there saying Easter speeches. Then they got after church, they got an Easter egg hunt. They hiding Easter eggs. Some eggs got money in it. Some eggs got candy in it. But what do the question is, where do these traditions come from? If these traditions are not mentioned nowhere in the Bible, and I'm going to show you when I go to Leviticus 23, the days that the Most High God told us to celebrate, he gets very specific on the day that you're supposed to celebrate it and how you're supposed to celebrate these days. But you won't find Easter or Christmas or Halloween or Valentine's Day. You won't find those days nowhere in Leviticus 23 when it goes into the days that we're supposed to celebrate. Look, the kids even see this. This is a trick by Satan, man. Let me get this precept. Let me get this verse right here. Roughly paraphrasing. The 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So Satan transformed himself into an angel of light, man. He transformed himself. Look, he said Christmas. Now it's Sunday, March 31st. Now let's see. It says March 31st. Let's see when Easter was last year. Easter last year went Sunday, April 9th. So did he rise on April 9th or did he rise on March 31st? Which one? Because it completely just changed. It changed the day. So now folks be finna be celebrating his resurrection day March 31st, but last year folks were celebrating his resurrection day April 9th. How do you know which one is correct? Which day? But going back to Easter. See, Satan disguised himself as an angel of light. This is a perfect example of an angel of light. See, when you look at Christmas, just like when you look at I'm gonna say Easter. When you look at Easter the same way you look at Christmas, they disguise themselves as an angel of light. When you look at Easter, you wouldn't think that this day had something to do with paganism and wickedness. Why? Because it looks so innocent. Easter looks so innocent. You got the colorful eggs, got the flower in the background, got the Easter egg bunnies. You got folks dressing up as an Easter egg. As an Easter egg, as a bunny. You got folks putting on a bunny costume. It looks so innocent, man. You got the Easter egg hunt. Look, got the pretty little bunny. It looks so innocent. That's Satan disguises himself as an angel of light to make you think that it's okay to celebrate this day. But I'm finna get the truth about Easter, man. Easter. Now, this is let me get which one I'm gonna get first. Let's get this one right here. Do rabbits lay eggs? Now, when you get into do rabbits lay eggs, you get into this thing. That's the question. It says, allow us to clear this up. No, bunnies do not lay eggs. So when you start right here, right? You start right here. What do rabbits or bunnies laying eggs have to do with Easter, with the resurrection day of Christ? Now, bunnies don't even lay eggs. So why do we see during so-called Easter, bunnies laying eggs? That's the question. Why do we see bunnies laying eggs if bunnies don't even lay eggs in real life? So where did this come from? Where do this come from of bunnies laying eggs? Where they get this from? If bunnies don't even lay eggs in real life, I'm gonna show you. Let's get Easter, the truth about Easter. This is the truth about Easter. You can look this stuff up. It says, Easter is associated with Christianity and to a pagan spring festival that dates back long before Christ. So this dates back long before Christ. Right? This dates back long, talking about before him. It didn't come after Christ. It came before him. So they was already doing these traditions. It says Easter is associated with Christianity to a pagan spring festival that dates back long before Christ. The feast day of Easter was first a pagan holiday or renewal, and it was a holiday of renewal and birth. Honor in the early spring, it praised the pagan goddess of fertility in spring known as Ostera, Estri, or I might say that wrong, or Ostri. So to make a long story short, this day it dated before Christ, and it was a day that you celebrated the goddess of fertility. So this is idolatry. Easter is a day of idolatry, man. You can't change Easter from what it really is. You have people say, well, it used to be that, but now we're turning it into something good. You can't do that. That's madness. Right? That's just like how all these rest of the holidays is. They start with paganism, rape, robbing, murder. Then they try to change it to something that's positive. You can't do that. This day was originally made for this day, man. Easter was a day to celebrate the pagan goddess of fertility. It even says it was pagan. The feast day of Easter was first a pagan holiday of renewal and rebirth. It wasn't a day to celebrate the resurrection of Christ, because they was already celebrating this day before Christ even died. It was before his time. Now, boom. It says, Easter was originally the celebration of Ishtar, the Assyrian and Babylonian goddess of fertility and sex. Her symbols, like the egg and the bunny, were and still are fertility and sex symbols. Or did you actually think eggs and bunnies had anything to do with the resurrection? After Constantine decided to Christianize the empire, Easter was changed to represent Jesus. But as it roots, Easter, which is how to pronounce Ishtar, is all about celebrating fertility and sex. So this day, Easter, it's all about celebrating fertility and sex. It have nothing to do with celebrating the resurrection of Christ. Hence why they got a bunny laying eggs as the symbol of Easter, man. Right? They got movies on that. They got a movie. They made Easter movies of bunnies laying eggs. Where they get that from of a bunny laying eggs if bunnies don't really lay eggs? Where they get that from? They got this from Ishtar, going back to the celebration of fertility and sex. Constantine was the one that tried to change it into something positive to represent white Jesus. And if I ain't mistaken, he was the one that changed the Sabbath day from Saturday to Sunday. So that's why everybody think the Sabbath day is actually on Sunday now and go to church on Sunday, because of Constantine. And that, if I ain't mistaken, either him or his people was the ones that got the Apocrypha taken out the Bible. I don't know if it was specifically him. I think it probably was Martin Luther. It was one of them. Not Martin Luther King, but a man named Martin Luther. They both were so-called white men, though. But, yeah, he was the one that, you know what I'm saying? He was the one that said, okay, now this day is going to be turned into something called Easter. We know they were celebrating this day before Christ was even born. It might not have been called Easter, but they were celebrating this day on the same exact day that they celebrate so-called Easter. They were like, okay, now we're gonna change it to something that. So if you truly think about this, I want y'all to think about this. This is Satan at his finest, bruh. If you think about how he's been playing out, this is Satan at his finest, because Satan, like the scripture just said, he transformed himself to an angel of light. Ain't nobody but Satan that even had that mindset of we know this have nothing to do with Christ. We know this is a pagan day. But we're gonna change it into something good. We're gonna have people thinking that this day is the resurrection day of Christ. We're gonna have the Easter bunny. We're gonna have eggs. We're gonna have Easter speeches. We're gonna have food. We're gonna have a party. So people can be comfortable with it, right? To celebrate the resurrection day of Christ. Which that's nowhere in the Bible. But that just show you that's Satan, man. That's the mindset of Satan. Now our people don't even know why they do the stuff they do. Why is a man dressed up like a bunny? Why are we doing an Easter egg hunt? What do eggs and bunnies have to do with each other? See, nobody question these things. I didn't question this. I didn't even know bunnies didn't lay eggs until I started questioning stuff. I thought bunnies lay eggs because Easter. But I didn't know they didn't until you research this stuff, man. It says Easter, Catholic pagan holy day. Ishtar, the queen of heaven, goddess of sex and fertility. Bunnies, eggs, and cakes. Hey, man, that's Easter. You also had our people celebrate. Let me get that precept. Roughly paraphrasing. Cause you had our people doing this back then, bro. Check this out. This Jeremiah chapter 44 and 19. And when we burnt incense to the queen of heaven and poured out drink offerings unto her, did we make her cakes to worship her and pour out drink offerings unto her without our men? So you had people celebrating even the queen of heaven the same way you go back to the Ishtar, right? Which is the so-called supposed to be queen of heaven. You had Israelites doing that. They was doing the same thing that our people do now. It's nothing new under the sun, like King Solomon said. It's literally nothing new under the sun. They were doing the same thing that our people doing now, man. Worshiping the queen of heaven. Jeremiah. Let me get this last precept, man. But yeah, the truth is out. And if you choose to continue to celebrate Easter, man, knowing the truth about it, y'all can look more into this. I ain't want to make this a long video, but it's a lot of information out here to look into Easter to show that it's pagan. It doesn't say in the Bible. It doesn't say in the Bible exactly the exact day that Christ was resurrected on. But it does say when you look in Leviticus 23, when I gotta show y'all that. It show you the days that the Most High God wants you to celebrate. It tell you the exact day when you need to celebrate them. But so if Christ wanted us to know the resurrection day of when he was like the exact day, month, year. If he wants you to know the exact month, day, what time, how to celebrate it, he would have told you. But he didn't tell you, so that means he don't want you to celebrate it. It's nothing that should be made into a celebration. Right, this Jeremiah 10 and verse 2. Thus says the Lord, learn not the way of the heathens and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathens are dismayed at them. So the Bible said, don't learn the way of the heathens, right? And Easter was a pagan day that we learned. We didn't know. We would have never been celebrating Easter if we would never came over here to America, man. We would have never been celebrating this Easter. We celebrate Easter and Halloween and Thanksgiving because that's what our oppressors celebrate. So we doing what they're doing. I'm gonna just get a few of these. A few of these. I ain't gonna get all of them. I ain't gonna read all of them. I'm gonna just show you how some of these days it tells you is the exact day that you need to celebrate them and how you need to celebrate them. It says, I'm going to start at 5. It says, in the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover. So it tells you specifically on the 14th day of the first month, that's the Lord's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So it also tells you the 15th day of that same month is unleavened bread. So it gets very specific on when these days is. And it also tells you the first day shall be in a holy convocation. You shall do no servile work, but you shall offer offering made by fire unto the Lord. 7 days, and the 7th day is in holy convocation. You shall do no work thereon. So it's very specific. It also tell you the days that you can't even do no work on. And let me go to let me get another day. Check this out, verse 24. Speaking to the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month, shall you have a Sabbath, a memorial blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And then it says, also on the 10th day of the 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. So it goes to the day of atonement. It tells you the day of atonement is on the 10th day of the 7th month. It shall be a holy convocation unto you. You shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. You shall do no work in the same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Lord your God. So it tells you day of atonement, that the day that you're supposed to keep it. Another day, speaking to the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of this 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord. On the 1st shall be in holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein. So it's telling you. See, these days get very specific on when they is and how you supposed to keep them, the exact day. So the day is never going to change like it did on Easter. How now Easter going to be March 31st to this year, but last year was April 9th. It ain't going to change like that, because the Bible gives us the exact day we supposed to celebrate these days. But you won't find Easter nowhere in the Bible when it's saying, oh, on the 13th day of the 1st month, it's going to be a holy convocation called Easter. It's a day to remember Christ's resurrection. It's a day to do an Easter egg hunt. You hide the eggs. You put money in the eggs. A grown person dressed like an Easter bunny and have a good time. It's a Sabbath day. You don't work on that day. It don't say that. It's not going to say that. Why? Because it's pagan and they have nothing to do with the Bible. And you're not going to celebrate Easter. It's not going to be no celebration of Christmas, Valentine's Day, Easter. You're not going to be celebrating those days in the kingdom of heaven. Let me just show you the scripture right here the days, just a few days that you will celebrate in the kingdom. Isaiah 66:23. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of men that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. Abhorrence to all flesh. So they just say that you're going to be celebrating the new moon. This is prophecy. This is future prophecy. It said people going to have to come up to the new moon and the Sabbath. So these are 2 days that you can find in Leviticus 23. The days that you're going to be celebrating. You're going to be celebrating the high holy days that's mentioned in Leviticus 23 and the solemn assemblies that's mentioned in the Apocrypha. You're not going to be celebrating Christmas, Valentine's Day, Easter. You're not going to be celebrating these days in the kingdom of heaven. So why celebrate them now? Why celebrate them now? It just doesn't make sense. So a Lord witness video is edifying, man. Brothers and sisters, do your own research, man. Look into this stuff, man. Don't just go off what people say. Look into this stuff yourself and find out the truth about these days. And ask yourself, why do I celebrate these days? And also ask yourself this too. What do Easter and Christmas got to do with the Bible? Where can I find this at in the Bible? Where can I find how to celebrate these days in the Bible? Ask yourself that. So with that, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shimi Hawashah. Matter of fact, let me get this last precept. Let me get this last verse and I'm going to close out. Roughly paraphrasing. This is Joel chapter 14 and verse 4. It says, who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. So that's just going back to these pagan days. You have people say, well, we don't celebrate that. We don't celebrate it like that no more. We changed the meaning behind this day. It's a celebration of worship Jesus. Well, the Bible said, who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. So you can't bring something that was already originated as being pagan to try to make it clean. You can't do that. Just like you can't make pork clean. You have folks try to make pork clean. A pig was made to clean the earth. It's a garbage disposal of the earth. It was never made to be eaten. But you have people now trying to put words in Paul's mouth, saying Paul said you can eat anything now, but that's not what he meant. But now people trying to make pork a clean animal now. Although in Leviticus 11, it said Leviticus 11:7 clearly tells you that you can't eat swine. Isaiah 66:15 on down says that you can't eat swine. That's a future prophecy, by the way. You have people still trying to say pork is clean. As long as you pray over it, it's clean now. That's the same thing people do with these pagan holidays. And we can't be like that, man. If it's pagan, if it was made to be unclean, it's always going to be unclean. If it was made to be clean, it's always going to be clean. And so with that, I'm going to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. I say Shalom, Kwame Yasharala.